can we talk about for a minute that what's holding you back from actually actively pursuing your goals, actively pursuing your dreams and what you want is not actually the fear of failure. We all think it's a fear of failure, and we are right, it is fear, but it's not actually fear of failure, because if we're afraid of failing, we would just make a plan. We just make a plan, we figure out, like, if this doesn't work, what would happen, what is my absolute minimum, at what point would I bail from it. We can make a plan. So what's holding you back, what is holding all of us back, what held me back, was not actually the fear of failing. It was the fear of pain. Now let me go into that in a little bit more detail for you, because you'll be like, well, why would I, obviously everyone's a bit scared of pain, no one really wants to be in pain. But one of the things that we don't necessarily consciously realise is that making those hard decisions, when you're rebuilding, when you're taking apart your life and you're rebuilding, there is a lot of pain involved. And we are scared of that pain. We are scared of that feeling because it hurts. It really hurts. And we look at people who are succeeding, and we look at people who are doing all the things, who are really working on what they want to do and really building that life. And we just think that it's easy because we don't see what they're going through. But subconsciously, we know that that's not easy. It took me probably about 3 years to finally make the decision to leave my husband. It was about 3 years. It took me another 6-7 months to actually do it. And part of the reason was because I was scared of the pain that I would feel when I actually did it. And everyone assumes that by the time you get to the point, you just walk out and that it's all absolutely fine. But the reality is that when I finally did do it, and I finally did ask for a divorce and say that I wanted to leave, I curled up on the floor in my kitchen, and because I was in so much pain and was crying so hard that I physically couldn't get up from the floor for like hours. I spent hours crying on the kitchen floor because of the pain of doing it. And even though it was the right decision, I couldn't stay in that relationship. I couldn't stay in that situation. And it was something that I needed to do, and something that I was absolutely certain was the right thing for me and my family. It still hurt. And that level of pain from detaching from something to move forward, that's what we're scared of. And it doesn't stop at just making that decision. And we know that that's not going to be the only thing. Every milestone has its own challenges. And we often think, well, just because, I asked for a divorce, a few months later I filed for a divorce, we went through mediation, we put the house on the market, I'm now living in my own flat, building my business. It all looks from the outside like I've just sailed through. But at each stage, I sobbed in the car for about an hour before I went in for my appointment with the solicitor to file for divorce. I cried my heart out when the estate agents had come around to look at the flat, to look at the house so I could put it on the market. Each stage hurts. Each setback hurts. Each time I get a video that does really, really well, and then the next one gets like 200 views and doesn't go anywhere, and I get no comments, it hurts. Every setback hurts, and we know it's going to hurt. And that's what's holding us back, because we don't want to face that fear. Because if we face that fear, we have to face why we're feeling it. And we have to face our demons. And that is incredibly difficult to do. But the people that you are admiring, who have made the decisions, the people that have got the businesses, who are living the life that you want, have been through that pain, have felt those setbacks, have felt everything crumble, that idea that they've put months and months and months of work into, that just completely fell flat. And when they pick themselves up and they carry on, that's not that it is because it hasn't hurt them. It's not because they haven't sat crying in a corner or underneath a weighted blanket for a few days. But it's a necessary part of the process, and we're scared to start it. We're scared to go through it, and we're scared to keep going through it. But that fear, of pain, may be there to protect us, but it's also what is holding us back. Because after each stage, when you release it, when you allow your body to feel it, when you allow your body to release it and let go, and you face it, each stage becomes better. At each point, you become more healed, you become more whole, you become more resilient, you become stronger, you become more able to face the challenges as they are coming up. There's a lorry driving past. And we are able to really, really focus. The people that are successful face the fear. They experience the fear, they experience the pain, they experience the disappointment, they experience the negative mindsets, they experience the rock bottom feelings, and they choose to build themselves up. They choose to take the risk again. You are able to do this. You are able to get through that pain. No pain is too much. It may feel like it at the time, but you will get through it. And you will be stronger because of it. And you will get to where you want to be if you keep moving forward. Taking the setbacks as lessons. Accepting that walking away from something that you dedicated so long to really hurts. And it's meant to hurt. And the reason why it hurts was because you loved it. Because you loved that person. Because you loved that life. Because you loved that job. Because you put your time, sweat and tears into it. But choosing to move forward is not a bad thing. And it won't hurt forever. If you allow yourself to feel it and allow yourself to move through it, it doesn't hurt forever. And you will get to where you want to be because you're putting the building blocks in place to get there. So I hope that helps. I'll speak to you guys all soon.